When building your personal rigs, do I have a preference in motherboard manufacturer of one over the other? The person asking the question is that they prefer ASUS because they've used it and had good luck with them over the years. I have done the same. I probably have personally bought more ASUS motherboards than any other manufacturer. My original i7 920 back in 2008 is on an ASUS P6T motherboard. My i7 2600K is on an ASUS Z68 motherboard. My i7 4770K is on a Z87 from ASUS, Z87 Pro actually, and so on and so forth. That being said, in recent years, I've used quite a few motherboards on a variety of builds from Gigabyte, MSI, and ASRock.
Yes.
I personally consider ASUS, ASRock, MSI, and Gigabyte to be the four main companies, at least in the United States. If you're in another country and there's some other motherboard brand that's common where you live, that's fine. I know BioStar and a few other companies, and of course EVGA makes a few motherboards as well, but they just make a few, and that's not sort of their main focus. I will build a machine with an ASUS, MSI, Gigabyte, or ASRock board without too much fuss over brand. It's the level of board that you buy. If you're buying a Z board or an X board, an AMD would be an X board like an X570 or Intel would be like a Z490. At the $200 price point, you kind of get about the same features no matter which company you buy. ASUS, because of their name and popularity, does tend to be
a little,
maybe 10% more expensive.
ASUS tax.
Yeah, the ASUS tax. So if MSI, Gigabyte, and ASRock are all about $200 for their mid-range feature board, it'll be $220 or $240 for the ASUS board generally. Like an ASUS ROG Strix Z490, a MSI Gaming Pro Carbon or Unify or Tomahawk, which are all very similar boards, a Gigabyte Aorus Elite or Aorus Pro or Aorus, anything short of the master level boards are usually about $200. The ASRock Tai Chis tend to be a little bit premium, but ASRock also makes their Extreme line. They got their Extreme 4 and Extreme 6 boards, which generally tend to run about $180 to $200 on the X and Z boards. All of those boards will have either 1 or 2.5 gigabit networking, depending upon the generation and year. They'll all have Realtek ALC 1220 audio of some variety with all the connectors, 7.1 HD with SPDIFs. Yep. They'll all have USB 3.2 Gen 2 10 gigabit per second ports, and usually they'll at least have 4 of them, multiple 3.0 ports, usually a PS2 port. Almost every one of those boards will now support BIOS flashback and with a clear CMOS button. They'll all have at least 2, if not 3 M.2 slots for NVMe. Yep. They'll all have at least about 10 phase power delivery. Some have 8, some have 12. Unless you're like a custom open loop liquid cooler, it isn't going to make any difference.
Yep.
All those boards are kind of the same thing. There are nuanced differences. Some will have 1 ARGB header, others will have 2. Some will have 5 case fan connectors, some will have 6 or 7. Some will have more RGB on the board, and some will have others.
Some will have Type-C, some won't.
Yeah.
Although at that price you would think that they would, but you got to pay attention to that.
So it varies. If you have a preference, if you like a certain BIOS, if you like a certain brand or appearance.
Software too, I guess.
I don't like any motherboard. That's a good question. I universally detest motherboard software. None of the companies make good software. I'm sorry. I don't install the software from any of those companies because as far as I'm concerned, it's all pretty awful. It's one of the reasons why I like the machine we recently built. We did a live stream of a Ryzen 9 3900X build, and everything in the case...
Just last night.
Well, last night from when we're recording this, but yes. If this shows up on Byte Size Tech, it won't be.
No, it'll be, yes.
But that had a RGB controller in the case, and everything from the case fans to the CPU cooler all ran through it, and there is a LED button on the panel. How many different modes of RGB was there on there?
There was, and if you're watching this later, go and check that out, because right at the end... Actually, we probably could even just turn that into a Byte Size Tech.
We turned it on and went through, and we turned the lights off in the studio and did it in the dark. But here's the thing. No messing with RGB software. Nope. Now, certainly with RGB software, you can set RGB to sync with your game or sync with your music, and that's cool. But some people don't want all that clutter in their task tray. They just want a button and just mess, and it's simple.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a nice feature.
It is.
In any case, as far as motherboards go, buy what you like. You get what you pay for. $200 boards have a lot more features than $150 or $100 boards. Above 200 is diminishing returns. A $400 board is not twice as good as a $200 board. It really isn't. They're nice, but at some point you're just sort of paying to be top dog.
Flex.
Yeah, you're paying to flex is what you're doing.
Flexing those bills.